Hey, what's going on again, Ball Nation? This is Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel, coming at you. The Tennessee baseball team moves to 8-0 tonight with a big win. Well, a win over North Alabama, but there was some really big developments and news tonight on this team. I'm going to talk about in a minute. Make sure you hit that like, that share, that subscribe as well. I did record a video earlier about this Ricky Gibson to the portal thing. Make sure you check that out as well. Apologize for the nose itch here, but Tennessee baseball come out. I think it was around 3:30. All of a sudden, kind of wondering who the starter was going to be, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, it is AJ Russell. And I'd been told earlier on that he was really far ahead of schedule, so it turns out it wasn't full-fledged Tommy John surgery that he had last year. It was UCL surgery. So there is a difference in that, and it's not as severe. So based on his time frame, it was thought that he would be throwing again first of the year or so. The fact that he's back already and it not even the end of February tells me he's been throwing probably since late last year a little bit. But just a huge addition tonight. And he comes out tonight, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts, 70 pitches, 11 strikes. That's about as good of a debut as you can get. And then the other two big pieces of news, in my opinion, was there's basically been three guys on this pitching staff that people have been talking about we've yet to see. We've finally seen them all now at this point. It's tonight Dylan Loy made his debut. He went 1 inning, 1 hit, had 1 strikeout. He did give up 1 double. He got a flyout. He got a ground out. 18 pitches, 10 strikes on the night. The other one was true freshman phenom Tegan Coons, made his debut. He got credit with the win tonight as well. 1 1/3. His first inning of work, he got 3 groundouts. He got a ground out to third, 1 to short, and then 1 back to him that ended the inning. Come back out the next inning, struck out the first batter he faced. Then he walked him, and then you got the classic Tony Vitello hook after the walk. And I've lost count during the Tony Vitello years of how many times he'll give you that lead. You walk a guy, he pulls you. How many times have we seen? I've watched it in person a couple years ago when Dolander, it was his best outing of the year against South Carolina. It was the doubleheader, the last day of the regular season. Dolander had been lights out. They went into the 7th inning. He started out, he walked a guy. Tony Vitello pulled him. Chase Burns proceeded to absolutely get lit up after that. So, yeah, that's the best example I can remember in person, but we've seen it numerous times. Guys go deep. He gives them that chance and they walk. Now, Coons had just gone 1 1/3, but still, yeah. I think it was kind of the same with Michael Sherman today as well. As Michael Sherman went 1 1/3, gave up a hit. He walked a batter. They went to Thomas Crabtree and 2 runs scored. So he gave some guys a little bit of that opportunity to throw. Once that runner got on, he pulls it. That's just Tony Vitello. That's what, especially in these midweek when you've got they threw 10 guys today. And Luke Payne was one. He come in to relieve Tegan Coons. He walked the batter. He was out. That was it for him. Austin Hunley come in and put the fire out on that. And then Nick Abraham went 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run. No home runs give up. And then Austin Breedlove, 2/3, 1 inning, 1 run. And then Ryan Combs went 1 2/3 to close it out. 2 hits, 1 1/3, a walk, 3 Ks, 2 wild pitches. So Vitello gave him a little bit more leash than he did others today. But, still the big story to me is you've got AJ Russell looked really good. Loy had a decent outing. Coons looked good coming out. I don't think you could ask for much more from those 3 guys. Now I'd be curious to see how much do we see those guys this weekend, because there's a ton of depth. There's a ton of depth on this roster, this pitching staff, and I do not envy this coaching staff having to fit them all in. Looking right now like it's Liam Doyle, Tanner Franklin, that combination on Friday nights, if you can get through that. Saturday so far, I mean, this past weekend we saw Marcus Phillips, who I thought threw really well. Nate Snead come in a little wild, and then he settled down, and I thought he threw well after that. This past Sunday, they threw a lot of guys. I don't think that will be the norm. I think you could see, depending on how they go with it, are you going to see Russell? Are you going to see Coons, Loy? You could see a combination all three. I'm not sure how you go with that. Russell's going to be on a pitch count for a while, so you're not going to see him go 5, 6, 7 innings. Not anytime soon, I don't think, and possibly later on the year. But I'll still be interested to see how Tony Vitello and staff manages him, because they said he's in his draft year. They're not going to do anything to jeopardize that with him. So you may see a case of, it may be kind of like an opener, but this is one I could handle a lot. If A.J. Russell is throwing like this and getting you a couple innings, then maybe I like the idea of, if that's your route, okay, you go Russell, a couple innings. Let him see him. He's throwing pretty hard. Loy is going to be a change of pace. Down around 90, has some pretty good stuff, and he's a lefty. Then maybe you go back to Coons to finish it, throwing mid to high 90s with his stuff. He looked really good with it tonight. Now, there's other guys along the way. I know Ryan Combs is going to factor in. I know, again, I don't envy this coaching staff with it, but it's going to be interesting to see how it transpires, because there's a lot of talent, man. There is so much talent on this pitching staff. I still maintain, I'll go with it. As long as they stay healthy, this will be the best pitching staff since Tony Vitello has been here. What Frank Anderson, this staff does with these guys, it's phenomenal. I mean, you see Doyle, you see Tanner Franklin. They add miles per hour to their pitches. And, I've talked about with Tanner Franklin. I've been very impressed with Tanner Franklin. Not that he's only one, but one of my concerns with him coming from Kennesaw State, he averaged a walk per inning. He's gone 5 2/3 right now. He's not walked a single batter. He looks lights out. Goes to show you what good coaching does for you. I can't, this is nothing against Kennesaw State staff. There's a night and day difference, though. And I would be hard-pressed if there's a better pitching staff in college baseball, I'd be hard-pressed to find it. I know Johnson down at Georgia, which he's the head coach now. He was excellent at LSU. You kind of seen some of the same games like Paul Skeens. People act like Paul Skeens was just an Adonis or a Fabio in terms of pitching coming in. Paul Skeens gained a lot of miles per hour at LSU when he went there. So, Tony Vitello recruited him more as a catcher than a pitcher. That's been some of the stuff that's out there. But good. It's pretty fascinating to see that much difference on these pitching staffs now. But I think you got to be happy. You got to be fired up at what this pitching staff is. And then your lineup tonight, pretty much your regular lineup. You had Curley, Keelan, Inslee. Fisher played third. I thought Fisher made some good plays tonight as well at third. Peebles behind the plate. Chapman moved up in the lineup. Right field had a couple nice opposite field hits tonight. Levi Clark DH'd at 7, 2 for 2, and he had 3 walks on the night. Stone Lawless started the game at first base. Dalton Bargo come in later on. Then Jay Abernathy started in left field there also. And you saw Ariel Antigua come in for defensive purposes later on. Colby Backus come in and pinch run for Levi Clark later on. Like I said, Bargo come in as well. The guy for the night, Keelan, 2 for 3, had a bomb, couple RBIs. Cannon Peebles in the first inning had a nice 2-out base hit. Got a run in. Hit my thing on the night. Peebles had 3 strikeouts. Reese Chapman had 2. And got to cut those down a little bit. Other than that, you had Lawless with 1, Inslee with 1. But pretty good night overall. Looking at the batting averages right now through 8 games, Curley 385, Keelan 409, Inslee 370. This is one that's got to be better. Andrew Fisher, 250. He dropped off a little bit here. He left 4 on base again tonight, 0 for 4. If he doesn't produce, that'll change come SEC play. But the dude's got a lot of talent. There's no doubt about it. Peebles 333, Chapman 423. Levi Clark is hitting 600 right now. Insane. Stone Lawless 400. Dalton Bargo 182. Jay Abernathy 438. Those it's all going to work itself out with the hitting and the pitching. There's no doubt about it. It'll be really interested to see what happens in Houston this weekend, as that's a big weekend. That'll be the first real test for Tennessee baseball as you get into it with Tennessee plays Oklahoma State on Friday. It will be, I think it's 4 o'clock. 4:05 Eastern time. Saturday, 12:05 Eastern time against Rice. And then Sunday, 11:05 Eastern time against Arizona. From my understanding, if it's the same as it was 3 years ago when Tennessee played in this same thing, there's a Houston Astros YouTube channel you can get the games on. You don't have to get Flow Sports or something like that to get it. From my understanding is it's still the same way. You'll be able to go to the Houston Astros YouTube channel and watch the games this weekend. But I'm going to wrap up on that one. Tennessee Vols basketball. I thought they were on ESPN. They're apparently not. The TGL is on it. Tennessee is on the SEC network right after Florida, Georgia. Right now, looks like Florida has cut it down to 1 point. So this could be a big help for Tennessee tonight with Florida losing, because I talked about in the video yesterday when I talked about Tennessee's path to a 1 seed. Florida's definitely in that mix. This will be huge if Georgia can close this one out tonight, because they beat Texas Tech last night, and that in my opinion hurt Tennessee there as far as that goes. But you guys have a great rest of your evening. This is Frank, House of Orange. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.